If you're over 60, every bite you take matters more than ever. Your heart has served you faithfully through 6 decades, beating over 2 billion times without rest. But now, it's time to ask, are you unknowingly feeding it danger? What if I told you that some of the vegetables you've trusted your entire life, the ones you believe are heart healthy, might now be putting that same heart at risk? Not because they're bad foods, but because your body has changed, your medications have changed, and what once helped you may now quietly be hurting you. In this video, I'll share 5 common vegetables that could be silently harming your heart after age 60. I've seen this in real patients, people who thought they were eating clean, salads, green smoothies, home-cooked meals, yet still found themselves in the ER with high blood pressure, clotting issues, or worse. The danger isn't just in junk food anymore. It's in the everyday choices you think are good for you. But don't worry, this isn't about scaring you. It's about empowering you. I'll show you what to avoid, how to prepare these foods safely, and what to eat instead. So please, stay with me until the end, because the very first vegetable on this list might already be sitting in your fridge right now. And if you're on heart medication, it could be undoing everything you're trying to heal. Now let's begin with the leafy green most people think of as the ultimate superfood. But for some seniors, it's a silent saboteur. Spinach, the star of green smoothies, the go-to for salads, the vegetable every doctor used to praise. And for many people, it truly is a superfood. But after 60, especially if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin, spinach can quietly become dangerous, not because of what it lacks, but because of what it has too much of. Spinach is packed with vitamin K, a nutrient essential for clotting your blood. And that's the problem. If you're on medication that thins your blood to prevent clots, strokes, or heart attacks, vitamin K can counteract that effect. It thickens your blood. It fights the medication. And most seniors have no idea this is even happening. I once had a patient, a 68-year-old man, who switched to clean eating after a minor heart scare. He started having a spinach smoothie every morning and a big salad at night. But within weeks, he came back confused and breathless. His blood pressure was high. His meds weren't working. What changed? The spinach. This isn't about blaming the food. The real danger is inconsistency. When you suddenly increase your spinach intake, especially while on heart meds, your blood chemistry shifts. The medicine that was protecting your heart can no longer do its job. That's how strokes happen in silence. That's how clots form in people who thought they were doing everything right. So what should you do? You don't need to cut spinach out completely, but you do need to eat it in moderation and consistency. Always tell your doctor before increasing greens in your diet. And avoid sudden jumps in vitamin K-rich foods if you're on blood thinners. This tiny change, communicating with your doctor and eating more mindfully, can be the difference between healing and harm. Because food isn't just medicine. Food can also interfere with medicine. And spinach is just the beginning. There's another vegetable that's salty, crunchy, and hiding in plain sight. One that could be raising your blood pressure more than a bag of chips. Now, let's talk about a food that's probably in your fridge right now. It seems harmless. It's even refreshing. But for seniors over 60, especially those managing high blood pressure or heart issues, this small, crunchy snack can become a hidden danger. I'm talking about pickled cucumbers, or simply pickles. Pickles are everywhere. We eat them on sandwiches, as side snacks, or just out of the jar. And because they're made from cucumbers, many believe they must be healthy. But here's the surprising truth. Those innocent-looking slices are often soaked in brine loaded with sodium, sometimes more than 1,000 milligrams per serving. That's nearly 2/3 of your entire daily salt limit in just a few bites. You might not taste it right away. You might not even feel anything wrong. But inside your body, that excess sodium is quietly holding water in your bloodstream, increasing your blood volume, and putting immense pressure on your heart and arteries. Over time, this leads to hypertension, hardened arteries, and eventually, heart failure. I've had older patients come into my clinic confused. They're eating home-cooked meals, avoiding fried foods, walking every day, yet their blood pressure remains dangerously high. When we go over their diet, the one thing they never expect to be the culprit is a small plate of pickles they have with lunch. That's the tricky thing about salt. It doesn't announce itself. You don't feel it clogging your arteries. There's no warning light on your dashboard. But day after day, it slowly wears down your heart's strength until you find yourself facing a stroke, chest pain, or the early signs of congestive heart failure. And here's something most people forget. As we age, our kidneys lose some of their efficiency. That means salt stays in the body longer. The same amount of sodium that your body could handle at 40 becomes dangerous at 65. Even canned vegetables, sauces, or so-called healthy soups can carry salt loads that quietly undo your hard work. But don't worry, this isn't about giving up flavor. It's about making smarter, safer choices. Start reading labels. Choose low-sodium options. Better yet, cook at home. Use herbs, garlic, lemon, or pepper to bring food alive without relying on salt. Because here's the truth. Your heart doesn't care how tasty something is. It only responds to how hard it has to work to deal with what you just ate. And sadly, salt isn't the only ingredient secretly putting your heart at risk. There's another food, especially common in South Asian and spicy cuisines, that might be raising your heart rate, fueling inflammation, and setting off alarms inside your chest, all while you're just trying to enjoy your favorite meal. Let's uncover that fiery risk in the next part. Red chili peppers, the fiery ingredient fueling your heart's downfall. For many seniors, food isn't just about nutrition, it's about memories. It's about culture. It's about comfort. And nothing brings those feelings alive quite like a little heat. A dash of red chili pepper, a spicy stew, that familiar burn on your tongue. For some, it's tradition. For others, it's passion. But what if I told you that same fiery flavor might be lighting a slow-burning fuse inside your chest? Yes, red chili peppers, especially the hot and concentrated varieties, can quietly trigger a chain reaction in your body. A reaction that's dangerous after 60. These peppers stimulate your nervous system, release adrenaline, and increase your heart rate. For a healthy 30-year-old, this might not be a big deal. But for someone over 60, with stiffer arteries, slower circulation, and a more sensitive heart, that kick may be doing more harm than good. I've seen it firsthand. Patients in their 60s or 70s, otherwise healthy, coming in with chest tightness, dizziness, or palpitations. When we go over their lifestyle, they never expect the culprit to be something as ordinary as chili peppers. But once we trace the symptoms back, that spicy curry or homemade chutney becomes the turning point. Why does this happen? Because heat isn't just a flavor. It's a biological stressor. Your blood vessels tighten. Your heart races to keep up. Your blood pressure spikes suddenly. And if you already have hypertension or heart disease, that one spicy meal might be all it takes to push your heart into dangerous territory. Even worse, the inflammation. Over time, frequent consumption of hot chili peppers can contribute to chronic inflammation in your blood vessels. It wears down the very highways your heart depends on. It's like pouring gasoline on a road that's already cracked. Eventually, something gives. Now, am I saying you have to live a bland life without flavor? Not at all. But you don't need fire to enjoy food. In fact, at this stage of life, flavor without stress is the goal. Use heart-friendly herbs like basil, rosemary, or turmeric. Add a little ginger, garlic, in moderation, or fresh lemon juice. These ingredients bring your meals to life without pushing your heart to the edge. Most importantly, listen to your body. If spicy food makes your heart pound, your head spin, or your chest feel heavy, that's not just discomfort. That's a warning. And warnings should never be ignored. Because sometimes, the foods we love most are the ones we need to approach with caution. But what happens when the danger doesn't come from heat, but from something praised as medicine? There's one ingredient that's celebrated for healing, trusted by millions, even taken like a supplement. But when used the wrong way, it can backfire in silence. Let's talk about that next. Garlic. It's been called nature's antibiotic, a miracle food, a healer of the heart. And for the most part, that reputation is well-deserved. Garlic can lower cholesterol, support immunity, and even reduce blood pressure. So it's no surprise that many seniors start adding raw garlic to their diets, some even swallowing cloves whole like pills. They believe they're doing something powerful, something protective. But here's what most people over 60 don't know. Raw garlic, when misused or overused, can silently turn into a threat, especially to your heart. Why? Because raw garlic is a natural blood thinner. That sounds like a good thing, right? After all, blood thinners prevent clots, which reduces the risk of heart attacks and strokes. But here's where the danger lies. If you're already on prescription blood thinners, like warfarin, aspirin, or clopidogrel, adding raw garlic can tip the scale too far. The result? Your blood may become too thin. And that opens the door to serious consequences: internal bleeding, frequent bruising, nosebleeds that won't stop, or even life-threatening hemorrhages. I've had patients walk into my clinic confused and scared. A little nosebleed that wouldn't quit, blood in their stool, a sudden drop in blood pressure. They thought they were eating clean. They thought garlic was helping. But unknowingly, they were putting their lives at risk. And it's not just about bleeding. Raw garlic can also drop your blood pressure too quickly, especially if you're already taking hypertension medications. You might feel lightheaded, drowsy. You might even faint. Because when the pressure falls too fast, your heart can't get the blood it needs to keep beating properly. And that's when real danger begins. Now don't get me wrong, garlic is not your enemy. It has its place. But as we age, the line between healing and harm gets thinner. And even natural remedies need to be handled with respect, moderation, and knowledge. So here's what I recommend. Use garlic cooked, not raw. Cooking softens its blood-thinning effect while still delivering heart benefits. Use it in moderation, not daily overdoses. And most importantly, talk to your doctor before adding it regularly to your meals, especially if you're on any medication for your heart or blood pressure. Because the truth is, your body today is not the same body it was 20 years ago. What help then might hurt now? And if something as celebrated as garlic can backfire quietly, what about a food that looks completely innocent on the outside, but could be carrying invisible enemies inside? Let's talk about one last vegetable that many believe is pure and healthy, but for seniors, might hide one of the most dangerous risks of all. Raw sprouts, the innocent crunch that could break a senior's heart. They look so clean, so fresh, so innocent. Tiny green sprouts, whether it's alfalfa, mung bean, or radish, are often praised as superfoods. They're crunchy, packed with enzymes, and loaded with nutrition. For many health-conscious seniors, tossing a handful onto a salad or sandwich feels like the perfect way to boost health. But behind that vibrant green appearance lies a silent threat that far too many overlook, especially those over 60. You see, sprouts grow in warm, humid environments, the very same conditions that bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria thrive in. And while younger adults may recover from foodborne illness with just a few days of discomfort, for seniors, the consequences can be far more serious, even deadly. As we age, our immune system weakens. The body becomes slower, less efficient at fighting off infections. What starts as a mild upset stomach in someone younger could turn into sepsis, severe dehydration, or even endocarditis, an infection of the heart lining, in an older adult. And that's not just theory. As a heart doctor, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen patients rush to the hospital after eating a healthy, raw sprout salad. Their hearts were already vulnerable. Their immune defenses low. And when bacteria entered the bloodstream, it became a battle their bodies couldn't fight. In some cases, it wasn't just the heart that suffered, but also the kidneys, the lungs, even the brain. All because of one little handful of raw greens. And here's what makes it worse. Many of these infections don't show up right away. They sneak in quietly. You might feel tired, feverish, off, but you wouldn't think to connect it to the clean, raw veggies you ate 2 days ago. So what can you do? You don't need to give up sprouts forever, but you do need to prepare them safely. Never eat sprouts raw, especially if you're over 60 or have a heart condition. Steam or saute them lightly before eating. A little heat is all it takes to kill dangerous bacteria while preserving flavor and most of the nutrients. And when in doubt, skip them entirely. There are safer ways to get the same crunch and nutrients from cooked vegetables or leafy greens that are properly washed and prepared. Because no matter how healthy something looks, your heart needs more than appearances. It needs safety, it needs protection, and it needs you to stay one step ahead of these hidden threats. You're already doing the right thing by learning and staying informed. And now that you know the risks of these 5 vegetables, you might be wondering, what can I eat instead? What foods are truly safe and supportive for a heart over 60? By now, you may be thinking, if even vegetables can hurt my heart, what can I eat that actually helps? That's a powerful question, and the answer isn't complicated. It's not in a trendy diet, not in some exotic superfood or overpriced supplement. It's in the right foods, prepared the right way, eaten with the wisdom of your age, not the habits of your past. Because the truth is, not all vegetables are dangerous. In fact, many are still your heart's best friend. if you choose them with care. So, let's walk through a few of the heart-healing foods that every senior should consider adding to their plate. Steamed broccoli, the vascular protector. Soft, gentle on the stomach, and packed with vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants. Broccoli helps reduce inflammation and supports artery health. Steamed, not raw. It's easy to digest and kind to your gut and your blood vessels. Roasted carrots, the sweet root that soothes. Naturally sweet, rich in beta-carotene and fiber, carrots help regulate blood sugar and blood pressure. Roasting them brings out their flavor without adding stress to your digestion. Sautéed kale or collard greens, the gentle leafy giants. Unlike raw spinach or arugula, kale and collards cooked lightly in olive oil become softer, safer, and easier to digest. They still give you iron and vitamin K, but in a form that's more stable and less reactive with medications when eaten consistently. Sweet potatoes, the potassium-rich powerhouse. They're gentle on the stomach, naturally sweet, and loaded with potassium, which helps counteract the effects of sodium on your blood pressure. A baked sweet potato isn't just comfort food, it's heart therapy on a plate. Cooked tomatoes, the anti-inflammatory secret. Tomatoes are high in lycopene, a compound that reduces arterial stiffness. But cooking them, as in soups or stews, increases lycopene absorption, making them even more powerful for your heart. Lentils and green beans, the fiber-filled fuel. Beans are packed with plant-based protein and cholesterol-lowering fiber. They help keep blood sugar steady and give your heart the fuel it needs, without the heaviness of meat or processed food. Now, here's what I want you to remember. You don't need to eat like a monk. You don't need to follow a complicated chart. You just need to build your plate with intention. Think warm, soft, and soothing foods. Think low in sodium, high in potassium. Think cooked more often than raw. And most importantly, think about how your body feels afterward. I've seen so many seniors turn their heart health around, not with extreme diets, but with simple, delicious, everyday choices. A warm bowl of bean soup, a side of roasted carrots, a plate of sautéed greens with a squeeze of lemon. Nothing fancy, but everything healing. Because at this stage of life, your meals shouldn't just fill your stomach. They should calm your heart. They should stabilize your energy. They should extend your joy. And now that you know what foods help and which to avoid, there's one more lesson that could make all the difference. Even if your diet is perfect, even if you eat all the right vegetables, at the right time, in the right way, one single habit could still sabotage everything you've worked for. It's not spinach. It's not fish oil. It's not even exercise. It's consistency. And the one small habit that silently damages the hearts of countless seniors is inconsistency. The hidden danger, inconsistent eating habits. You see, the body after 60 doesn't adapt as quickly as it used to. Skipping meals one day, overeating the next, eating salty food at night, then fasting in the morning, taking medication without food, then changing the timing randomly. All of these patterns send confusing signals to your heart. And your heart, it thrives on rhythm. A stable heartbeat, a stable schedule, a stable lifestyle. I've seen patients who were doing everything right, but not consistently. They'd eat healthy for a week, then go back to old habits during holidays. They'd remember to take medications with food, but forget when tired or busy. And slowly, silently, their heart began to struggle. Seniors need a gentle routine. After 60, your body loves routine more than anything. Eating your meals at regular times. Taking your medications as directed. Staying hydrated throughout the day, not just when thirsty. Sleeping and waking on a predictable schedule. These may sound simple, but they are the very habits that help your heart beat safely, steadily, and strongly. I once treated a 71-year-old woman who had perfect lab reports, yet kept experiencing dizzy spells and fatigue. We discovered she was skipping breakfast and taking blood pressure medication on an empty stomach, not because she was careless, but because no one had told her how much that mattered. Once we adjusted her routine, meals, meds, and sleep, her heart rhythm stabilized. No new prescriptions, no procedures, just respect for her body's need for balance. Your heart is begging you for stability. This is the part that most seniors overlook. It's not always about finding the next miracle vegetable. It's about creating a gentle, predictable rhythm in your life. Because your heart, it's been beating for you every second of every day for over 6 decades. And now, It just wants you to return the favor. With care, with calm, with consistency. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up for yourself every single day. And now, we're coming to the final message. The one your heart has been waiting to hear. Because after all this, after the truth about dangerous vegetables, medication conflicts, and daily habits, there's one thing you deserve to know, above all. Your heart still has time, still has strength, still has love to give, and you still have power to protect it. Your heart has been with you since day one. It beat through your first steps, your first love, your greatest joys, and your deepest heartbreaks. It has pumped steadily through every year of your life, through stress, celebration, and silence. And now, after 60, it's not slowing down because it's weak. It's simply asking you to listen. You see, many people over 60 make the mistake of thinking it's too late. Too late to reverse the damage. Too late to feel stronger. Too late to rebuild their health. But I can tell you with complete certainty, it's not too late. I've seen hearts improve at 65, 70, even 85. Not because the person became perfect, but because they made better choices consistently. They started listening to their body. They made peace with their past and focused on what they could control in the present. Yes, the truth is, some vegetables can harm your heart if eaten the wrong way. Yes, your medications need to be respected. And yes, even healthy habits can backfire if done without awareness. But the bigger truth, the one that matters most, is that you're still here. And that means you still have time to heal, to protect, to grow stronger. Your next heartbeat is a gift. And every meal, every walk, every good night's sleep from this day forward is a chance to give something back to that heart that has served you so faithfully. You don't need to be extreme. You don't need to fear food. You just need to be mindful, gentle, consistent. Start small. Replace raw sprouts with lightly steamed greens. Swap high-sodium pickles for fresh cucumbers with lemon. Talk to your doctor before adding garlic or spinach smoothies to your routine. And most of all, create a rhythm, a steady, healing lifestyle that your heart can rely on. You have come so far, and the road ahead still has room for laughter, energy, freedom, and peace, if you choose to protect what matters most. So, I invite you to make one commitment today, not to perfection, but to presence, to being aware of what you eat, how you move, and how you rest. Because your heart, it still has time. And now, so do you. If this video opened your eyes or gave you even one helpful idea, I'd love to know. Please type 1 in the comments. It lets me know you're here, learning, and taking steps to care for your heart. And if you think there's room for improvement, type 0, because your feedback helps me make better content for you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. When you do, you're not just supporting us. You're building a stronger community of seniors who care about living well, living wise, and living with joy. Your heart is still beating strong. Let's give it the love, attention, and care it truly deserves, together. Thank you for watching. Stay kind to your heart and to yourself.